Hey guys, welcome back to another redstone video. Today I want to check out the functionality of the new Sculk block by turning a spider spawner into an automatic XP farm. And with automatic XP farm I mean you don't need to kill the spiders yourself. You will just convert their XP into Sculk blocks and then break the Sculk block to release the XP again without the player doing anything. So we just need the player to be near the spawner for the spiders to spawn. Alright, so let's get started. First thing of course is we need to excavate this. So the plan is to kill the spiders with fall damage. So I'm just gonna remove like 20 blocks below the spawner and make a little bit of space. I think the spiders, or for a spider spawner, we need an 11 by 11 in order to get the maximum efficiency. Alright, here we go. So the next thing we need is the Sculk catalyst, which you can find in the deep dark biome. I think the range is 8 blocks, so if we would place them outside, couldn't cover the whole distance, but I'm pretty sure I can also bury it underground. So let's see if this works. If we just put it here. Let's get a spider real quick and drop it down. Yes, this does work, and the stone is converted into Sculk blocks. Alright, so the next thing is we need to regenerate the stone and push the Sculk blocks to a wither cage. So currently the only way to get XP out of the Sculk blocks is using a pickaxe. So the player could mine them, but that's kind of pointless, then we could just kill the spiders ourselves for using tools. But there's another way. We can also use a wizard to break the blocks to get the XP out of the Sculk block. TNT doesn't work. So I added a hopper minecart collection system for now, because of course we also want to get the string out of our spider farm. Right, so next up is the stone generator. Unfortunately a little bit limited here with the push limit. So we need to push in the stone from here, but kind of doesn't make it possible to have the stone generator right on top of it. So we're gonna push it up once. So the sticky piston will pull out the stone from here. So that means we're gonna have flowing water here, flows over to this block, and then the lava right on top. Alright, so I'll quickly build up the stone gen. So we have the layout for the stone generator. Now we just need to wire it up. That's actually quite simple. So we just need to permanently power the sticky piston here with a redstone torch, and then add one observer that triggers the piston once the stone is being pulled back. And that's already the whole wiring. We're gonna put a redstone line here in the back, and a 2 redstone tick pulse is enough to correctly power all of this. Okay, then it's getting pushed up, and then we have to push it over. Okay, I'm just gonna complete here the whole line, and then also run a signal to those pistons. Okay, let's try it out. There we go. Alright, so that's how far we can actually push the stone. We need to get either the Sculk block or the stone out again. So that's why I was thinking we could use this setup here. We push in a normal piston, and it pushes the whole 11 blocks 1 block over. And then we do it again, push in the next piston, and so on. And there's also a nice wiring for it. So all we gotta do is put an observer here, then block that can transmit a signal through an observer chain like a trapdoor here. This powers like a first piston, and then in the back we need a 2-tick repeater. Okay, the only thing we need to know is that the initial pulse needs to be 3 redstone ticks. So the piston is also being pulled back again. Okay, so this is already the whole setup. Now we just need to copy this over for the whole line, then all the blocks are nicely being pushed out here at the end. Alright, so this is done. Let's also try it out. I have a command block here that would get rid of the blocks for us. Okay. Instead of pushing the blocks to be delivered a command block, of course they will be pushed into the wither cage, which is the next thing we want to work on. Alright, wither cage. So since we're playing in the first experimental snapshot of 1.19, and the reinforced deep slate right now is the perfect block to make a wither cage, we're gonna use that. But there's also options to make a wither cage without it. But yeah, I'm gonna use that instead. I'm just gonna summon in the wither right now. I'm gonna place an ancient debris block above, because it's blast resistant but still movable. This will be used to damage the wither. Then we just need a wall below. Any type is fine. Then we get our soul sand. And the wither skulls. There we go. You can wait for the wizard to spawn. It probably is gonna destroy some of the pistons here, but it's okay. There we go. Just gonna replace it real quick. Now we can work on the redstone, but I'm actually gonna mute the hostile creatures because that would get quite annoying. Okay, so we need to wire up this whole piston setup. So as soon as a block would be pushed in, so it makes too much noise, blocks on 0. So as soon as a block is getting pushed in here, we want to damage the wizard real quick by pushing down the ancient debris. So we're gonna add a sticky piston, pushes it down and immediately up again. This damages the wizard, and then 1 second later he would break the blocks that are getting pushed in. Alright, quickly grab some blocks. I'm gonna add wiring for those pistons as well. So I'm gonna actually use a little monostable circuit here with concrete powder, because you always have this issue that the block incoming triggers the observer, and unless you use a zero tick, the next setting piston will trigger the observer second time. But if you just power this piston, it pushes up the concrete powder, then it takes a while until the concrete powder can fall down, and the second pulse basically goes nowhere in that case. So we don't create a clock here. Quickly show that. Easy. Okay, we get 2 pulses here, so this is also perfect. We can just run a redstone line to quickly power and depower the sticky piston. Not depower, power the second time. Okay, I'm just gonna place some obsidian around here. That basically keeps everything nice and safe, because the wizard can't shoot any black skulls out of it. Otherwise it would track the player or stuff like that. Okay, run redstone line up here. There we go. Get the working wizard cage. Okay, now we just have some issues here with the wiring, so the blocks are incoming really quick, and we need to basically, as soon as they arrive here, push them out immediately. I'm just gonna use a block detection system here. So I'm gonna use actually a normal piston to push over slime block, and the redstone block here butts this piston, so that's why the stone incoming will cause it to push away. And then to push it back, I'm gonna use a sticky piston, so the slime block at least is getting pushed back immediately. But that means we need another piston here at the top. There we go, like this. Okay, so we need to power those instantly with a zero tick. That's why I'm gonna place some dust here. And that's why I have the slime block here. This basically opens the gap here below. And then we just need a zero tick pulse generator that is getting activated as soon as the block arrives here. It's gonna it's gonna make sure this is getting pushed back properly. Okay. There we go. Now the zero tick pulse generator, I'm just gonna use this one here with the redstone block, normal block. There we go. And 1 piston for the update chain. Okay, just wire this up. There we go, it's already working. So got a block incoming. It's getting immediately pushed up. Okay, something got blown up here. A couple blocks are missing. I already had more wiring. So we got 2 pistons pushing everything over. Let's use some glass there. Alright. Yeah, that should do the trick. Yep. Okay, this is not getting powered yet. Oh, I think we need another observer for the correct timing. Alright, but then everything should be fine with the block pushing. Alright, now it's working properly. I can also show it. So blocks are getting pushed over correctly. And into the wizard cage, where they're broken. The items and the XP are getting flushed out, I also added the item filter, so the items are actually smaller than the XP balls. They would go under the slab and be flushed out, while the XP goes this way and will be flushed towards the player. So it actually doubles as a stone farm as well. Alright, so the player will AFK a little bit here of the spawner, still within range. And yeah, just receive the XP here. Alright, we're almost done. We just need a clock to trigger the stone generator of a certain interval. I think I'm just gonna add a hopper clock here, in which I put in 6 items. So there we go. 6 items. We can add an on-off switch here. And then we just need a torch. So this will trigger everything. Yeah, and all the blocks are pushed to the wizard cage. Alright, let's actually turn this on. And we can also see what's happening to the XP there. It's nicely getting flushed over, as it should. Yep, looking good. Let's follow the XP. So here we're actually using blue eyes, so they have enough momentum. Apparently the XP balls aren't really affected by the bubble columns. It takes a while, but eventually they will end up at the player. Right, we're basically done. Now all I gotta do is AFK. Can also go in survival mode. Hopefully the first XP will arrive soon. I already have 3 levels, and at the bottom we see the spiders that fall down converted the stone into the skulk block. And eventually it's getting pushed out into the wizard cage. And hopefully there's the first XP. Yeah, which just arrived. Okay, so there's a pretty simple setup. Usually you should get around 500 mobs per hour, so 500 spiders per hour, which should convert about 5 blocks. So that means we get 1 XP per block. We would get 2500 XP per hour with this setup. And yeah, we don't need to do anything. So you could just stand here, do some enchanting, or just AFK, so you don't need to worry about your tools being used up, or you don't need any mending here, so you can just stand there and get XP. Of course, you don't have looting, so you wouldn't get as much string, but at least we get some, which is collected by the hopper minecart. And more XP incoming, we're already at 10 levels. So I really like this farm. Of course, it would be nice to also add an on-off switch, so we can add that up here. It would stop the clock, and also maybe include some redstone lamps here in the ceiling, so the spawn is also turned off if you don't need it anymore. There might be one issue. You might have seen this in my snapshot video. If you have enough mobs dying on top of Sculk, then it could happen that some of the other Skulk blocks generate, so the Skulk Shrieker and the Skulk Sensor. But I've actually been running this now for 10 minutes, hasn't happened so far. I think because we're pushing the blocks out quick enough for the next spiders can spawn, this doesn't really happen. But I could imagine if you don't turn off the spawner and yeah, don't push out the stone, it could happen that some blocks would be generated on top. But since I haven't seen it yet, I don't think it's actually an issue, and yeah, just a proof of concept farm anyway. But this might be an issue maybe faster farms. I think probably Enderman farm is probably the way to go to get more than 2500 XP per hour. So the maximum you can get this way would be 36,000 per hour, because you only get an XP ball the size of 1 for each block you break. So you can only pick up 10 of those XP balls per second times 3000 seconds per hour means we can only get 36,000 XP per hour this way. That's the limitation of this concept. Alright, I hope you liked this video. Thanks guys for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.